deserves attention. It deserves this type of reinvestment as our legislation is calling for. We need to move forward in improving this bad cycle and pulling us out of this deterioration and pulling us out of a weak market. Now, over the course of the last 2 months, we went about looking, how do we better improve this partnership between the city of Jamestown and the county of Chautauqua, and even more, how do we seek to improve the property value in the city of Jamestown as perhaps a model toward improving property countywide. Perhaps we can look to do some things in the city of Jamestown as our standalone resolution, the County Reinvestment Act, calls for, that we can model for the rest of the county. So number one, we believe that we needed to encourage the city of Jamestown to address the root cause of some of the housing decline issues. And now called for specifically in this expensive study, as was noted, but nationally recognized study, it specifically called for several items that called for the city of Jamestown to take into consideration several items and several policy changes. Number one was a rental property registration and inspection program. Number two were more routine inspections as called for in this revised proposed foreclosure agreement. And number three was a moratorium on certain multi-dwellings. Not every type of multi-dwelling, but certain multi-dwellings, which we currently already have in surplus in the city of Jamestown. The idea being that if Chautauqua County is to continue to reimburse the localities and continue to reimburse the city of Jamestown at exponentially large amounts, and I think Mr. Schultz might be able to cite the exact number, but in the last 10 to 20 years that the county has been fully reimbursing the city of Jamestown, our losses to county government have increased extensively. And that, do you have any figures that you could possibly cite? Not to put you on the spot, Mr. Schultz.
The tax sale, excuse me, the guarantee of the taxes to the cities as well as with all municipalities in the county occur at the time the taxes are returned to the county. In the previous agreement, it would occur at two times in June and December for the city. The new agreement that they proposed would be in April. At that point, the city would return the taxes after they retain 100% of their own taxes. At the time of auction, which the county started participating in the previous tax collection agreement with the city of Jamestown in 1994, the first auction that was affected by this tax collection agreement was the 1998 auction. It all depends on any given year what either profit or loss will be on the properties. With the two cities, the city of Jamestown and Dunkirk, it has been a general loss on the auction for the two cities when all properties were taken into consideration. When I say loss, I mean there was the amount of taxes, interest, and penalties outstanding on the properties far exceeded the auction proceeds on those properties. Any given year, the dollar values were different. It all depended on what types of what property was coming into that parcel. What really brought this to the forefront was the Manor Oak property, which was significantly delinquent. That's pretty much, I've been involved in the county for over 10 years. That's what started the whole discussion process over almost a decade ago, about 9 years ago. So while certain years are different than others, this last auction, I have not been able to, since the auction just concluded a week ago, I have not been able to put the full analysis into it, but the initial, between the two cities, and this is singling out Jamestown, the loss when considering taxes, interest, and penalties was about $320,000, $340,000, $50,000 in the ballpark. Excluding interest and penalties, that number will be small, and I'm not prepared to comment on that today.
Thank you very much. Sorry to put you on the spot.
Anytime.
Thank you. But that argument, those continuing losses, lend itself exactly to my point in that county government, I believe, is in every right doing due diligence to encourage the city of Jamestown to address the root causes of these losses. A professional study by a housing expert has indicated that 3 items specifically will help address these root causes. Will get at the heart of improving property values in the city of Jamestown. Will directly help curb the losses that Mr. Schultz just described to Chautauqua County. And again, the moratorium on multi-dwellings, rental property registration and inspection program, and more routine inspections. None of those pieces are currently happening at the level and at the consistency that they could be happening to better address this root problem, to better bolster the value of properties in the city of Jamestown. That's number 1. Number 2, we're proposing a separate standalone resolution that we have entitled the Chautauqua County Reinvestment Act that would, in return for Jamestown making additional efforts to help improve its housing stock, the standalone resolution would better support Jamestown in its efforts to take on such revitalization. And that resolution, I know we'll get to that further down in the agenda, but if you wanted me to continue just in the sequence of
I'm enjoying the speech, Mrs. Cornell.
Well, thank you. As we enjoy your further comments to come, I'm sure, would allow the county to do its part in supporting the city of Jamestown. Number 1, by offering improved property notification at the county auction with regard to distressed property. Number 2, provide for a $5,000 escrow account, which would be fully reimbursed to the property owner, to the bidder at the auction, with interest upon receipt of a certificate of occupancy in 1 year. It also explores, it does not provide for with a budget item, but it would explore the possibility of countywide initiated or partner demolitions with municipalities. It also explores the option of a senior volunteer canvassing program to help support municipalities, particularly the cities, in their code, in their housing inspection options. It's a program that I've been doing research that they're currently undertaking in a Baltimore neighborhood as well as in Battle Creek, Michigan successfully. I've talked to both George Spanos regarding the demolition piece and Mary Ann Spanos regarding the senior volunteer piece, and they're both enthusiastic about the prospect of looking into such options. Again, it's proposing an exploratory, exploring the options of demolitions and exploring the options of a senior volunteer canvassing program. This standalone resolution, the County Reinvestment Act, also provides for a changed auction date, and something that would be put in statute. From many conversations, it's my understanding that the proposed date of last weekend in April is agreeable to all parties. It would simply put that date in a consistent format in statute so that all parties could have the understanding and expectation that that is when the auction would be held in a timely manner each and every single year. And it also brings the foreclosure date as close to the auction date as possible, as feasible, to help lessen the amount of time and property turnover to the greatest extent possible. So in a very long speech, Mr. Chairman, that is my way of describing our efforts to overall improve the county's tax base for the long haul, and even more importantly, strengthen our county's housing market. So I appreciate the committee's consideration.
Thank you, Mrs. Cornell.